Here we go, folks. Here we go. Team No Sleep. James Hicks, Montel Allen. How you living, brother?
Man, blessed as usual, man. Just holding it down.
Yes, sir.
Another Tuesday, trying to get it in. Representing them Spartans, San Jose State. Gives a big shout out to them doing
I,
their thing. But
I see.
man, just ready to rock and roll. You
I
know how it
see.
goes.
All right. I appreciate that. You know what? I should have wore some Oregon State gear. My son just committed to Oregon State, and I got me some new swag. So got 2 kids in college now. Oh my gosh, I'll never retire. Never retire.
Yeah, you represent that Pac-12, man. Oregon State, UCLA. That's all good, man.
I didn't realize OSU was D1 until we were at dinner the other night. And listen, man, okay, we trying to do it. Let's what's happening to the folks in the room there, Mr. Kevin Cox. I see your brother. Appreciate you for joining. He said he's in San Francisco watching. Oh, see, we got some comments coming in, but my auto moderation is prohibiting any foul language, even though this is my dude. You can't drop some of these words in the comment section and expect them to go through my filter. So definitely switch that up, man, before I can bring it on the screen. Chief Sakik, good to see you, man. Hello. Okay, good to see you, man. Welcome to the show. Oh, now the show can officially start, ladies and gentlemen. We got Senior in the building.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So listen, Montel, let's go ahead and get into it, man. I want to bring on the man sitting behind the scene, which I know a lot of folks have probably come to see because he's got an announcement to make, but it's not going to make it at the beginning. So you're going to have to stay for the entire show. Let's welcome to the stage. Let's welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen, Jorge Maestre. How are you, brother?
What's up, my brothers? How are you?
God, look, you looking, you clean too?
Yeah, man. Mama said I'm gonna be on TV. I gotta shave.
Yeah, you looking straight out of Jet magazine tonight, man. I'm not mad at you. I tell you what, for the folks who don't know you, for the folks in the back of the room, for the folks that should know you, give that origin story, man. Tell the folks who you are so they know who you are coming on Team No Sleep.
Most of the people who I'm assuming most people who know me, who came into me, know who I am. But for those who don't, Jorge Maestre, Puerto Rican black brother mixed from New York City, and in technology, right? Formerly of there goes my wife. You see that with a hottie, yeah, baby, that's right. Distracted her from the other stuff she was watching. Formerly of HPE, no longer at HPE. That's my sister. There goes my beautiful sister, Cynthia. She's on. Formerly of HPE, now doing something different, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. Technology professional for a few years now, man.
Love it, man. Listen, brother, appreciate you for joining on. We were chopping it up behind the scenes. You know the stories we're going to talk about, and you know that I'm going to be picking at scabs, trying to get all of the engagement going. But Montel, where you want to start, man? You want to start with this coaching change? Because we've been talking about this. We've been talking about this for a minute, right? We've been talking about this.
Throw the dart up the wall, man. Whatever one story is stick, we go with that. We rock with that. So
let's do it. Listen, Bruce Arians, coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is now the past coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he has passed the torch to someone who Montel and I have said for the longest time is deservingly so of any head coaching position. And this team just seems to resonate because they've been winning. Todd Bowles is now the new head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's talk about this, man. Just significance of this from Arians stepping down, right? And then the significance of, again, Todd Bowles finally getting an opportunity with a team who now has their quarterback back. Brady is coming back. So that's going to be a very interesting dynamic to have these folks lined up together. Jorge, let's start with you, man. What do you think about this whole conundrum that's unfolded?
It's not a conundrum. I love it. He got a bad rep from New York, the most dysfunctional organization in professional sports, the New York Jets. I don't care who you are, you're not winning games with New York. He was a heralded coach before he got that job. I thought he deserved that job. That's a dysfunctional organization. He had no help. Tom Brady came back. You know damn well Tom Brady knew Todd Bowles was taking over for Bruce Arians. He blessed that. And if Tom Brady blessed it, who are you to say otherwise? That's all I'm saying.
I loved it. The fact that you said Brady blessed it. I mean, because it's behind the scenes. A lot of WhatsApp, a lot of FaceTime, a lot of behind the scenes. It happens amongst these individuals before it goes up to the GM, before it goes to the owner, right? They've already signed off and said, I'm coming back, play quarterback if this person is going to be my head coach, yay or nay. So, Montel, talk to us about what you think about this, man.
Yeah, I think one, it's the right choice. Two, I believe that like you said, it was probably already done before it was signed. I believe Bruce Arians we already know he's older. He's had some health issues. He was already, I think considering retirement before Brady got there. Now that Brady got there and they won the Super Bowl, I think he gave him one last hoorah last year, and I felt it was time for him to step away from the game, or at least step from the game from a different capacity and be more of a leader behind the scenes. Bowles is just excellent. It was going to be either him or Leftwich. Let's be honest.
Yes.
One of those two guys are going to get this job. They went with Bowles with some head coaching experience, a person with more experience than Leftwich is at the head coaching realm, and it's just a great fit. I mean, they're pretty much intact like they were a year ago. I think Brady, who's we all know who's the X factor, is coming back because Bowles is going to be coaching. Everyone's pretty much returning. They got they're loaded again. They're going to be competitive in the NFC. It's just the right move, man. I mean, it's funny, man. We're praising the NFL franchise for doing the right thing, right? It's crazy because they've done the right thing. They hired the right man for the job. Yeah. I think this is going to be a domino effect. To be honest with you, I think my man in Kansas City is going to, when he decides he's going to move Andy Reid, I think he's going to hand over the wheels to Eric Bieniemy. I think this is the way, and unfortunately the only way that we are getting the shot and not having to rebuild a dysfunctional team, but being in a team that's already established, take over the tools that's there, and let's see, the Bowles minds working in the right favor to see if they can win at this elite level. And I truly believe that I don't think very many things will change. I think the question with Tampa Bay now is what does Leftwich do? Okay. I mean, Jacksonville should have hired him as their head coach. Honestly, no. Leftwich should have been the high head coach there. Does Leftwich come back? I hope he does to Tampa Bay. I hope he comes back to Tampa Bay and they can make something out of it. But I think that's more of the question. I think this was a no-brainer in the organization, to be honest with you. I don't think this was even a hard discussion or hard issue to say. He's the qualified person. He's been with the organization for 4 years. Bowles the man with the job with head coaching experience. Let's roll. Yeah. So let me ask this, though, because you touched on something right there. And do you think this is the best way, or maybe the only way, that we can get some more diversity at the head coaching spot is when it's succession, right? Are there no more minority coaches in either the college level or even at the OC level, the DC level, whatever other level, to be elevated to this position without someone like a Bruce Arians stepping to the side and kind of passing the torch to this individual? Do you think this is the only way that this is going to happen? I think this is a gateway to make it happen. I believe. Let's be honest, man. Let's be transparent. NFL is made up of 32 owners. 31 of them are old and white. They like people that look like them. They have the head of their organizations. It's been known for that. There's only two that has done it right now. Pittsburgh Steelers are stuck by theirs with the Rooney Rule. They have them in charge, and now Tampa Bay seems like they're going to sway that way. Other organizations have tried it, but it's always been a stigma attached to that head coach, right? The guy that was in San Diego, as soon as he was winning, had one bad season with a rookie quarterback, fired. Yeah. There's always been that stigma attached to him. This one's kind of like, hey, we're going down the chain. We're just passing the lineage right down. Winning organization, winning coach, a guy that's been with the winning coach this time. Hey, color on this one, it matters, but it kind of didn't matter. It's like, hey, he's the next man in line in our organization. Let's promote him on up. He's the right choice. So he's making the right choice. This one wasn't too much of a color, a black and white issue. But we know the NFL, man. The NFL, unfortunately, they think we can't lead. It's always been that way. They didn't think we could lead at quarterback. Now there's black quarterbacks that are dominating. They're the face of the franchise. Now we've been defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators that have been revolutionary-wise. Yeah. But they still haven't gotten to that head coach job, and they still haven't gotten to that GM spot. They're still really hesitant about hiring to those positions and those roles. For whatever reason it may be, we don't know. You can have the most impeccable resume you want, obviously, but that doesn't matter. So I think this is kind of starting to break a little bit of that ceiling. You know, and if it has to be that way, I'm not okay with it, but we have to accept it, get in there, and now we have to break new ground once we get in. You know, the way it happens. So I think this is just the right choice. And we're celebrating the right choice.
All right. Well, but Mama's over here talking about. She said, you know, Tom should have stayed at home. He should. I think Giselle kicked him out. Is what I'm. But I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone. George, going into this, man. I think you had something you wanted to get into, brother.
No, I was agreeing with myself, but there is something I would like. All right, let's take diversity, social, race. Let's take to the side for just 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
The NFL has the NFL hiring process, especially at the leadership level, the coaching level, has a history of doing two things: pulling young hot shots from wherever, or recycling coaches. Right, and so, for example, if we take let's look at one of our own, Marvin Lewis. He had how many more opportunities than he should have had, right? I mean, I think Marvin Lewis is a great defensive coordinator, not necessarily a head coach, right? Just as an example, the problem that we have socially for us, for real, the problem we have, we don't get to be recycled. We're one and done. Marvin Lewis is the exception. I use him for that reason. He's the exception. We get one and done. Todd Bowles got lucky that he went to the organization that he went to, that he got Bruce Arians. He was lucky. He was in a situation where it worked out for him. Byron Leftwich is lucky. We're not necessarily getting that second and third and fourth opportunity that the NFL likes to give to other guys, right? And that, to me, is where that's the problem that has to be probably addressed. If the young, and then, of course, you got to look at the college ranks and see who's coming up from a diversity perspective that deserves an opportunity to be that next young, because there's plenty of them, but they're not necessarily getting that opportunity, right? They're staying in the coordinator's role because they're not getting the head coaching jobs, or they're staying, the linebackers coach or something like that. And that to me is part of the issue, right? So that's where we have to sort of, from a diversity perspective, that has to be addressed. At the NFL level with Todd Bowles, it is the right choice, but we have to admit, we're lucky. He was lucky. He went to Bruce Arians. He left the Jets, got to Bruce Arians, got to Tom Brady, got to a system. It's like Pittsburgh. Like, Mike Tomlin is the man, right? He's great, and he could bring up whoever, and that system will now function. That is, to your point, Martel, that's the gateway. Yeah. Tomlin's in, and now the color is, as far as Pittsburgh's concerned, that's done. That's done with. We're going to create a system, and we're going to bring up our people, and the best people will get the job. And they're going to do it. And that's going to be whatever the color may be, right? Whatever language they speak, whatever, all that stuff, that's going to be it. Thankfully, right? Now it looks like Tampa Bay, for me, it looks like they took a step in the same direction. Mm-hmm. And now, so that's 28 to go, right?
Well, I agree with you. I agree with you. There's only certain coaches that get that rotation, as you say. Lovie Smith is getting his second wind at it. There's a few that get it. But again, Marvin Lewis, Lovie Smith, historically bad programs. Lovie went all the way to the Super Bowl and couldn't get a job in the NFL. So now, he went all the way to the Super Bowl and couldn't get back into the league to a head coaching job until now. So you're right. We have to prove now. We can't. We don't have a chance. We don't have that margin for error in order to mess up or to be in that rebuilding process and then be able to take over the reins. Tomlin's the only one that's there that's able to do those good things. To do those things. NFL, as we know, need to do. They still don't get. They don't get the freebie. This ain't a pass because they got one higher. NFL's going, oh look, we got two now. No, you're still not doing the right job. And I think NCAA is in the same situation. College football is great as much as I love it. There's still a lack of diversity at the head coaching ranks.
True.
True. I mean, there's 119 Division I schools, and I know less than 20% are head coaches of color. And that's including Polynesian, African American, and Latino. They're just not there at the head coaching realm. And not saying they shouldn't be. They're way more than qualified being there. And that's including with the HBCUs, and that's a sad thing with all these schools there. I just really believe that there needs to be definitely, someone needs to look at it and revamp it and understand. I don't understand how 80% of your roster can be a person of color, but you don't feel a person of color can lead those 80 men or lead those people on their roster.
But if I can just real quick, wasn't that long ago, we couldn't get a quarterback that looked like us. Wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Wasn't that
I
long
remember.
ago. Yeah. And now, right? I'm trying to keep it positive. I'm loving what I'm seeing now. Let's hope that we're taking the right steps.
I
agree. Long way to go. Long journey. I get you.
But the process needs to be faster, in my opinion. I mean, it's still way too slow, it's way too much we have to show and prove ourselves, where others don't have to prove themselves. They just get the job and say, hey, we're in this role. Yeah.
Right.
It's almost like we're behind. Yeah. Let's give an example. Sean McVay, great quarter. He just won a Super Bowl, right, with the Rams. Sean McVay's resume does not quantify for him to get that job. He got it because nepotism of his family's been in the NFL forever. He's a great offensive coordinator, but he was supposed to be an offensive coordinator, not a head coach, and he got his shot. Again, those opportunities present to people with the same skin tone as Sean McVay. They don't present themselves to guys like Eric Bieniemy, who's done it in the league. What Sean McVay was doing in college for all these times, he still isn't getting the right shot or getting a shot. You know what I mean? So I agree with you. I'm glad it's moving in the right direction and the meter's moving that way. Yeah. But it's still moving at snail pace. It needs to move a little bit faster and give opportunities to people of color. And I'm talking about the right qualified person of color. I'm not just talking about just because you're a certain skin tone, you get the job. Yeah. You need to be the right person. But the fact is, there are a lot of qualified people that are that color to be able to be in those roles, and then I get a job.
And the thing that hurts us is that the guy who many times the first person you think about is from a marketing perspective. So rather than say, I'm gonna give this qualified person the job, Michael Irvin wants to be a head coach. Well, people are gonna come in the stands if Michael Irvin's the coach. Let's give him the coach. Come on, man. I mean, I love my guy, right?
You Cowboys all day, yeah.
All day. But if Michael Irvin is coaching, a team, I'm gonna try to stay away from that team as far as possible. Like that. I don't want to have to. I'm not watching. That team's gonna be a train wreck. And I love Michael Irvin. That's my guy. So, but he winds up being a candidate because the criteria to select him is based on ratings or something that ain't got nothing to do with it, right? Mm-hmm. And I think these are the things that people aren't paying attention to, right? We, the people who get the opportunities don't necessarily earn it based on the performance required for that job. They earn it based on some criteria that has nothing to do with it, right? Like Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. And I know we're talking social, but just use these guys as an example. Yeah. Remember when Magic was the Lakers? He's trying to forget it still, right? Why did he get that opportunity? Because he's marketable on my TV. Larry, same reason. Larry, same thing. Why did he get the opportunity at the Pacers? Did he deserve? Hell no, he didn't deserve it. They gave it to him. No, he did a great job. But neither one of them earned it. They got this job, so they were like, you know what? People are saying that we're not investing in our team and we're not doing. Okay, you know what? Let me put these superstars out there and go get it.
That's the criteria point.
That they were given, the criteria that they were given, they didn't deserve it. So how far back did Magic's coaching? How far back did that set us? And we're not, and that's the part. Like Magic's a billionaire, right? We want to see Magic succeed. Magic's great. He's an all-time great, one of my all-time great, favorite heroes. What did Magic do to be a coach? You know what I'm saying? Like, what did he do?
Yeah. I agree with you. There's a pluses and minuses in both things. You're right. I think marketing is one issue, but the part that I don't agree with, or I'm not seeing it the same eye to eye, is there's some guys that are in the same situation and are successful. So you kind of have a one-off with one. We know Michael Jordan tried his thing at GM. Horrible at it, right? He's horrible GM.
And that's my
wasn't able to do anything, from a basketball analogy. But then you have other guys like Ozzie Newsome, who went to the Ravens and had no experience and was very successful. Okay, yeah.
Sure.
So you got guys that are kind of hit and misses in those things. And I don't mind that you play the sport and you get an opportunity if you have the aptitude to learn. I'm saying from these coaches' standpoint, with the 32 in the NFL, there seems to be a certain criteria, or we've seen a pattern, right? You're a hotshot college guy, you're a hotshot OC or DC within the NFL, and then your name rises to the top, and then you get promoted to get a job. Well, we have guys that have done that. They tried to follow that pattern. And I'm going to always use Eric Bieniemy because I think he's still being snubbed. and Byron Leftwich. These guys have been hot shot. They've been to the pinnacle. They've won the Super Bowl as OCs. They've done great jobs. They've done everything that the leaders asked them to do in order to become at that next level. And yet you get guys that get hired like the Jets head coach. You get guys that's hired in all these different roles. The Sean McVays in the world over the Eric Bieniemys. You get Lovie Smith. And we're talking black on black. Lovie Smith didn't deserve that job. You were coaching there and they were a losing organization. And Eric Bieniemy is right there, who's been doing the right thing all this time. He deserved a shot at that role. Not saying Lovie Smith doesn't have the pedigree of the resume, but I'm sorry, your team just won 3 games in the past 2 years. Eric Bieniemy's been an OC. That team's won 23 games in the past 2 years.
Right.
Why don't we promote the young Eric Bieniemy to get in that job? I mean, the Texans didn't even consider him. He wasn't even in consideration in the interview process. So I don't know where that disconnect is. I don't know if it's just a comfortability thing. Maybe it's a person they can control as an owner to the GM, to the head coach. Maybe it's you just don't want that to face your franchise. I'm not sure why the mix-up is, but there is something going on that's an underlying racism. Now, I will say this, though. I believe, me personally, the NFL is going to be getting younger in these next 10 years. And what I mean by this, these old owners' sons are going to be taking over. And as we know, the younger the generation, the more open they are definitely to diversity. It's kind of been historically, like the younger generation is more open to it. So I think we'll start seeing faces change a little bit more when that happens. But right now, as we have the 32 owners that are in place there right now, it's going to be just a limited amount. And at the end of the day, let's be honest with you, it's their business. That is their company. They own it. So they have the freedom, the right to hire anyone they want to. It just doesn't represent their workforce. And I won't say fan base, but it doesn't represent their workforce in any form of capacity. Because every NFL team makeup is majority people of color.
I think I may have chosen the right story to start off, boy, because Montel is on one tonight. Let me before we go too much further down the line, I want to be attentive to the audience first and address some of these questions. Kevin Cox was asking, shouts out to you, Kevin. Appreciate you being here first and foremost. Another question is, do these OC and DCs actually want that head coaching position? Do they want that pressure and accountability regardless of color? That's an interesting question, right? We're almost assuming that these folks, we want to elevate everyone to as high as they can go, right? But does a Bieniemy actually want to sit at that table? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I believe he's a competitor. He wants to be able to be competitive at the ultimate level. The ultimate level is making the pros as a player, and being a head coach of an NFL team is the ultimate of coaches. So why would you want to reach the epitome of that? And I believe his track record has proven that he deserves that. I don't think he sits back and says my ultimate goal is just to be an OC. It's not that. I don't think it's in that realm at all. I think he really wants to be a head coach, but I also think he wants to be a head coach where he has some control. Yeah, and that's where we're going to run into some issues. He wants to have some control. He wants to be able to pick some of the players that he wants. He wants to be able to have that dialogue with the GM and say, these are the guys I want to be in this in order to make it successful. And I think that's where the break is in. That's where a big break comes in. A lot of situations.
It's the Mark Jackson issue, right? Great coach, great system. Genius owner loved him and said, I need you to hire, but you're a rookie head coach. You need to learn. So I need to give you some assistant coaches that more experience that could help you. And he said, no, these are everything that you love about me is because of this staff that I put together. If you change that, you're going to lose. I'm going to lose what a piece of what makes me great. So they take this system, the same friggin' system, and a little bit enhancements, the same system. All these Golden State fans, by the way, listen, 10 years ago, I'm from New York City where people wear every jersey. And I didn't see a Golden State jersey till I'm 35, 40 years old. Shut up. Just shut up. You guys didn't even know you had it. You drove by the stadium thinking it was a Walmart. So up until Mark Jackson out there. So if anybody from Golden State is listening to this, shut up. But it's the same system. And I'm telling you, they thought it was a Sam's Club or something. What is that building right there?
Damn, son.
He coming with that. He said he thought it was a Sam's
Club. I'm taking the piss because I'm a Golden State Warriors fan. But
I know that's why I'm laughing so hard behind the scenes.
You know I'm right. You're probably like, I didn't think it was a Sam's Club.
I don't even know who the Knicks are no more. I can't name a player on the Knicks no more.
Oh my goodness, this is turning into a debauchery.
But that's not the point, right? The point is he could have worked with ownership, met halfway, and he wanted to. He said no. Like this is I love that he was loyal to his guys. I love that. I do. But the best decision maybe for everyone would have been let's meet in the middle somewhere. Maybe I'll let me keep a couple, and he refused to do that. And again, I love it. But owners don't like to be backed into corners like that. And until we get more owners, technically, how many owners do we have? Right, one, right? The GOAT, that he's the only one, right? He's the only majority owner, right? In the NBA anyway. But no, actually, yeah, I think he's the only majority owner in all teams, in all sports, right? So the GOAT is the only one. Yeah, it's the only one. So for those who don't know, the GOAT is
come on now. You don't try to make it plain for the people in the back of the room. It's just
that sometimes people you don't know, people have been smoking, they've been drinking, and they're like, "What? Who's a GOAT?" I just want to come on, please. But he's only one, and that's probably part of what needs to change, right? But they don't like, and he doesn't want to ever be back into a corner, right? Just like every other owner, so. They don't want to be back into a corner like that. There needs to be some, something to Montel, what he was saying, there's some truth to that, right? Like if, Bieniemy wants to come in, he wants control, he wants to be able to do all these things. And the owner's like, you're still a rookie. I want to protect my asset and I want to bring all these different things. I do think ownership has to meet in the middle like everything else on that, right? They have to be saying, look, I know why you're good and you're good for these reasons. And I want to keep these are the reasons why I want you. So I have to cede some control to you. I have to. But I can't be all in. And that's the part that gets lost. People are almost ignoring your value, your self-value, the value that you bring. You've already established yourself. Now you're a name or a brand. Let me get that. But in order to have that and have that function the way you want it to function, you've got to respect all the things that go with it, good and bad. And that, from an ownership perspective, this is where I really believe we suffer, minorities suffer, people of color suffer. When you're not a minority, they're more willing to take the bad with the good. When you are a minority, if it ain't all good, it ain't happening.
That's interesting. I'm listening to what you're saying, and I'm seeing how that kind of trickles down to the collegiate. Let's talk about the collegiate just for 1 second, because if you look at collegiate it's like that, but it's kind of not. You got to be able to give if you're a college coach. I think winning trumps it all. If you can win at that level, if you're a minority winner, it's great. Like I'm so happy for. We'll talk about the NCAA in a minute, but it's so great for both for the head coaches, African American woman, African American male won the champ, or African American competed for the championship. Great things in his first year. But I'm saying that kind of trumps everything at the collegiate level. But it's so hard to get into that realm of being a head coach at the NCAA Division I level, right? The few that are there have been winning, but they do have control because they control the recruiting process, right? They control who they want to bring in, or at least who they want to try to land. So they have somewhat control in order to how to build their team. Unlike in the NFL, head coaches have to answer to a GM. Actually, obviously, because money's involved in all those things, but they have to answer to a GM, which normally sometimes doesn't see eye to eye. As we're seeing in the 49ers organization right now, they're not seeing eye to eye who they want to draft and all that stuff and what's going on. So I think that key word is control of the organization. Control, who has input in the organization to get. I think the ultimate person is Belichick, right? Bill Belichick. He tells who's going to go on his team, who's not going to go on his team. GM, I think he's the only one that GM listens to him. He doesn't listen to the GM. The GM listens to him while he can control his thing. So he's probably the one and only few that can do that. I just don't know what it is with those 32 owners, why it's so hard to implement the Rudy rule and at least interview and give these guys a chance to see what they can do, bring them into the fold of the process and say, hey, are you the right candidate or you're not? And now we're going to be entering into a whole other mechanism because now, women coaches who are talented are coming into the fold now. Don Staley can coach, I think, a men's team as talented as she is, definitely, by far, easily. Maybe even in the NBA. So Now we're going to be bringing in another dynamic that collectively minorities and women now are going to have to be battling each other for a predominantly dominant white male industry at the epitome level. So now we're going to be, it's almost like, we're all fighting for here just to kind of get our chance to get up to there. And it's going to be difficult. I think it's going to get more and more difficult because now we have all these different dynamics, which I don't know, man. It's just discouraging. Like I said, the NFL is still on snail pace. Everybody else is pretty much starting to, pick it up. NBA has always been a trendsetter going that way, but NFL, man, it's just been, they just not want to let go of those reins at all and give people those chances. So it's very frustrating.
But NBA is different in the sense that we've been blessed at that level with leaders who understood how to lead everybody, in the sense that Bill Russell, head coach for the Celtics, he was anointed from Red Arbor, right? Now, sometimes that needs to happen. Sometimes that needs to happen, and it did. It happened here, right? It happened with Bill Russell. But he played at a time when you had to be careful, right? Absolutely. And then he got to go to work and tell white Hall of Famers, you better I'm bench you if you don't play this play. I want you to, but he knew how to lead, and that's lost, right? And I'm not even going into I'm not even getting into like control. I mean, lead, like just really lead. Kareem, afterwards, right? I mean, Kareem is a leader in many, I mean, just in every way, but
everything.
But he knew how to lead, right? You had these leaders in the NBA that made it real easy because some of them just grabbed control and just ran with it. Bill Russell, like I said, but they knew how to do it, right? They knew how to lead. They knew how to. Moses Malone is another great example of a man who was a leader. Like he was never a coach or any of that other stuff, but he led on the court. He led off the court. Coaches would pull him in, and he'd give them guidance. He was the grown up in the room, and these men knew how to lead, and that completely just changed their perspective on how.
I won't cut you off. I get you, but that's kind of a false narrative because if you say leadership, guys like Warren Moon knew how to lead. Guys let's go back to the football part. The Warren Moons know how to lead. They've led their teams to things. There's Doug Williams knew how to lead. Doug Williams broke the braille with the Super Bowl. Still never got a really shot in the NFL.
You misunderstand. Hold on, Matilda, but you misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's all that's required. I'm saying that we got blessed because these men knew how to lead, and then everyone kind of relaxed, right? Everyone in the NBA sort of relaxed and said, okay, right? And we're much more open, right? But with the NFL, that hasn't happened. These men know how to lead. Now, Doug Williams is a little bit of an anomaly. Warren Moon's a much better example. He knew how to lead. He knew how to lead the locker room.
A lot of these young folks don't know the names you talking about, man. We old cats do, but a lot of these young folks.
Well, Doug Williams won a Super Bowl for the Redskins. But remember, he wasn't a starter, right? So he's a little bit of a different example. But Warren Moon's a great example. He knew how to lead, but people didn't listen.
Yeah.
They didn't listen because he was he's uppity. Let's use that word. He's uppity. We ain't gonna listen to him. He's uppity, right? That was not fair. That's where the NFL has to really that's the NFL's problem, right? In the NBA, when the leader stepped up, and maybe it was because of Auerbach. I don't know. I'm not trying to give him credit, but I'm saying maybe whatever happened, that when the men stepped up, everyone else said, "Oh, okay, maybe it is time," and then they were okay. We're willing to do this and do that. But remember, it wasn't until Riley started anointing coaches and started saying everything that we really got diversity. So that's 20, 30 years later, right? That's in the 90s. It wasn't until Pat Riley started saying this guy's a great, and he starts, creating these disciples everywhere. And now Popovich, because before that, I mean, even with all the diversity and all the partnering and all that stuff in the NBA, it's still head coach led. They're only 20 years old in a league that's 100 years old. Like, come on now, stop it. So it is still relevant.
So I got a question, James. James, I got one more thing before you go to the next subject. Hold on.
All right.
So my one caveat about this thing, like you said, and we'll kind of go back to the Bowles thing, You know how we get the one and done shot, right? We get the one and done as coaches and getting in there. My question and my thing with the NFL is this: falling stars that are white in the NFL get a chance. Obviously, the quarterback that played for the Chargers, what's his name? The guy that went berserko on the interview. He was number 1 draft. He's like the overall buzz. I forgot his name. Ryan Lee. Ryan Lee got a second. Ryan Lee got a second chance in his career. And I'm going to explain where I'm going through this. Ryan Lee, failed quarterback in the NFL, became a drug dealer or whatever, went to jail, went to prison for all these different things, and now is on CBS Sports as an announcer, as a commentator. Am I right or wrong?
No,
that's Ryan Lee.
No, you're right.
He's a college commentator.
Yeah.
Tim Tebow failed in the NFL, commentator in the NFL on sports, supposedly an expert. We got guys like Jamar Russell, never got another chance, never seen his face again in the NFL, who was the number 1 prospect that just didn't make it in the league. We have all these guys that made it in the league to the epitome, that were great leaders, great players, but once they failed, the NFL was done with them. When it comes to white counterparts, once they fail, they get another opportunity. And I think that's where the problem is, and it goes all the way up the chain of leadership. They get opportunities, we don't. And that's a damn shame for a league and an organization that is represented by 80% of people of color. How come we don't get another shot? They do. Regardless of what they do.
It's a great example of that. Like Tebow is a college expert, no question about it. He is a college football expert. I won't take that away from him. But how are you going to invite him? How Colin Kaepernick don't have a job, but Tim Tebow got an invite to play tight end, a position he never played in his life? Like, stop.
I'm saying, why is Lawrence Taylor ostracized and
here we go.
Why is Lawrence Taylor ostracized from the league and Ryan Lee fitted? When their crimes are, they have the same background.
Well, I'm with you on that. I don't get it. Like, I don't that. I'm sorry. So, Colin Kaepernick don't have a job. You're trying to tell me Colin Kaepernick ain't better than – I'm a Cowboys fan, dude. I suffered with Dalton. You don't think I would have jumped up and down? I would have thrown a celebration. I would have closed down the Woodlands, Texas, and had a parade if they would have signed Kaepernick to replace Dak instead of Dalton when he got hurt. Are you kidding me right now? Come on, man. And no disrespect to Dalton, but, I mean, it's just I agree when I tell you, speaking fire right now, because the double standard is ridiculous. But, like, it's just ridiculous, man.
Let me reset the room right here real quick, because y'all, you got me and Tony Davis over here needing a drink but this is what it's all about. No, see, right? I mean, I didn't want to stop that because this is the social impact of everything that's happening in the sport, and this is the conversation. I'm just going to know from now on to at least allocate 30 minutes for that first social impact story. But no, check it, George. I mean, some comments came out of what you guys were really going at, and I think it resonates and deserves another session to go even deeper into it, right? Because we want to talk on some of the primary news that happened over the week, but I would love to go a little bit deeper into some of these specifics that we're talking about. Again, the why this is happening, why I got the question of why Cap is trying to get back into the league, right? But that's a whole nother conversation in and of itself, right? After some of the things that he's right, so we can go 101, 201, 301 level deep into some of that conversation as well. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it going. Appreciate the dialogue. I saw one of your partners come through. DK was asking, did the announcement happen? No, it hasn't happened yet because Montel and George have been throwing blows. But that's what we do. Then I saw Ivan in here talking madness. My moderators, don't kick him out. Even though he's talking about nimble, he's talking about some other things. Don't kick him out. We understand where he's coming from, but we're gonna let Ivan stay in the chats there. I don't know if you saw him, George.
No, I'm not seeing none of that.
Okay, don't look at the chat because they, I want to make sure. I see Eduardo in here too, talking crazy, but that's all good. Ram G, see y'all in the building. Let's keep it up with some football though. Okay, I think this is football. I don't know if this is real football or not. But I don't even know where to go with this. Terrell, and you got to say his name right. Don't call him. You got to say you got to put the name with the accent on it. T.O. wants to come out of retirement, so the story says. I can't say this right here is from a reputable or known news agency because I'm not familiar with heavy.com. Shouts out to them if they are big time, but. former Cowboys wide receiver T.O. is coming out of football retirement, wants to go and play for the FCFL. That's the same league that your boy Johnny Manziel plays for. T.O. wants to go and be a part of the Zappers. Well, that's where Johnny's playing. What's your guys' thoughts on, one, the story of T.O. possibly coming out of retirement, and two, T.O. going and partnering up with someone like a Johnny Manziel on the team called the Zappers in the fan-controlled football league? George?
I'm not mad, bro. I'm not mad at it. You know why? Because Terrell is... There are a handful of athletes, of professional athletes, who, when they step away from the game, don't actually ever step away from the game. They step away from, competing professionally or at that level, but they stay in shape. They stay working out. They stay doing these different things, right? They do all these things. Terrell Owens is that, right? He's always in shape. He's always working out. He's never left that mindset of a competitor and conditioning himself, right? If he can make the team, go play, right?
Would you pay to go see? I was going to say, would you pay to go see him?
It depends on how much the tickets cost, man. I ain't paying $400 to go see him.
Right,
if it's 40, I would do that, all day. No, man. I mean, look, I'm a fan, but you already know I'm biased, right? I'm a fan, but it was not just him, right? And it ain't even going to be one of our people. Like, it could be. I mean, like, look, I'm not mad that Brady's still playing. He's 70, 75. I don't even know how old he is right now, right? I'm not even mad at that. Like, if you can do it, keep doing it, right? Keep doing it, right? No one should be in charge of stopping you from doing what you're good at, right? It shouldn't be, you know what I mean? And so, I understand the implications and all that other stuff of age and all that. I get all that, but no one should be responsible for that but you. Right? If you can't keep doing it no more and it's evident, then that's fine. But if you can do it, I don't care how old you are. If you're still good and you contribute, keep doing it. Keep doing it until you can't. I don't really see the problem, right?
Know when to say you're done. I mean, know when it's time to quit, right? Quit before you end up playing so hard or playing so much that you end up hurting yourself. You hurt the organization, you hurt the team, right? When you're out there as a detriment or as a liability. Montel, what's your thoughts on T.O. maybe coming back and suiting up?
I feel similar. I mean, no one should be able to tell him to stop playing when he wants to, but I hope this doesn't tarnish his legacy. You know what I mean? I hope this isn't a gimmicky or anything like that. I hope this is a legitimate football league, and they're really doing, they're really showcasing the athletes, these athletes' ability, including T.O.'s, includes all these other young players that are going to be playing in there. But if it's just a gimmick and kind of a gimmicky thing, him coming out of retirement, he's going to play, and all this doing stuff, I'm not really for it. I probably won't be even a fan of the league. I just got to give it a chance to check it out. Me personally, I've expressed this numerous times. I wish T.O. would go into coaching. I think he would be the perfect coach for Tennessee State, where his alma mater, where he played at. Yep. I think he would be a great head coach. I think he has a lot of Deion Sanders in him, that Deion Sanders mystique. Yeah. What he has in him, I think he has a lot to give to the game. I just think he hasn't came to that point in his life, maybe where he wants to be a coach. Yeah. But I think he can offer so much to these young guys, to these young players at the Division I level, especially at HBCU, especially coming from where he came from, how hard it was for him to make it, and how he became, an NFL legend. I think he can give so much back to the youth in that way. But as far as him playing this story right here, I have no problem with it. It's okay. Yeah. We watched 3-on-3 with the old players playing basketball. we watched, these guys.
The Ice Cube League.
To play.
Yeah.
Get down. And like I said, if he can still compete at that level and hopefully doesn't hurt himself or, like I said, tarnish his legacy, I think it's okay. I think we as a society look at anything outside the NFL like it's a bad thing. It's a professional sport. He's getting paid to do it. He's collecting a check to go out there and do that. And he's going to bring fans and hopefully a little bit of TV time to the thing in order to make more money. I'm all for it, man. Go get down with it. I think it's a good story between him and Johnny Manziel. Two kind of outcasts with the media, two personalities kind of out there. Let them build a storyline around that. Hopefully they can do their thing. Yeah. So
I'm not gonna tell y'all.
You said Johnny Manziel.
Well, no, I know because I'm not gonna tell anybody. Well, I am gonna tell y'all. I did buy old boy's jersey. I thought he was gonna be the next hope, but he wasn't. And I bought that Manziel jersey Went to Portland and bought it at the Nike store. 3 weeks later, I burnt it. I did.
I actually thought he was going to be good too. I ain't gonna front.
I'm gonna let you guys on the secret. I played ball. I played the collegiate level, and I know a lot of guys in the NFL. Johnny Manziel, as bad as you guys think he is, I bet his system that he was playing in was worse. Remember when he went to Cleveland, which is one of the most horrible systems in the league, and you're taxing the guy that's already fundamentally not sound, not all the gifts in the world. He was a short, smaller guy, and you ask him to work magic in a system that's already dysfunctional. Remember everyone was saying the same thing about my man that messed his leg up in Washington. Oh, damn, I'm forgetting names now. Who was the quarterback that messed his leg up in Washington? Had to have surgery. That came out of Utah. Alex Smith. When Alex Smith first came in, everybody said he was a bust.
I was thinking about
for the first 4 years, everyone said Alex Smith was a bust until he got to the right system, and then Alex Smith is now arguably a Hall of Famer.
That's true.
Yeah, he's on the board.
As much as I hate Manziel, most of it was the system. Bro, the system kind of killed him, in my opinion.
I don't hate Manziel. Like, I didn't mind like the what it was the stuff they used to do with the money and all that. I don't hate all that, right? Like, I love all that. Like, I'm a huge Mayweather fan. Like, I love it. Like, yeah, do it more. Like, yeah, I love it. Bring it on, man. Y'all already know. If you ever see me present, you know I love that. Right?
Listen, I mimic myself after I try to, right?
But I love all that, man. Bring it on, right? Be provocative. I'm all into that, right? My problem was the entitlement with him. That's all. We don't have to get into Manziel, but the entitlement with Manziel is, you know, we've been talking about like how we don't get opportunities, right? I mean, Manziel. I mean, come on, like he's a great example of that previous discussion, right? Like,
no argument there. No argument.
Yeah. So I got, you know, I could meet him in a restaurant and be like, "Oh man, great to meet you. Let me buy you a drink." So, you know, I could do all that. I'm good, but like I don't. He's more problem to me than entertainment. That's the way I look at him, right? No hate or anything like that, but he's more indicative of the problems than anything else. And so, it's not personal, and I don't have to have no hate towards him or even anger to say that, but he's actually indicative of the problem. And I think, and that's another thing if we're talking social impact, when people like that get dismissed or get pushed to the side, like that tends to be the way that side of society wants to handle it. Oh, you're right. You're complaining, and you're right. And so we're gonna make an example of Johnny Manziel and push this millionaire who's a millionaire before he ever played, you know, professional sports, and we're not gonna let him play in the NFL anymore. You know, and that'll show him. You know, he'll have to go home and sit on his, you know, dad's oil money millions that he had, you know, like by himself. Right? Like, come on, man. Like, but that's how they try to appease us. And that to me that's indicative of the problem, right? Like, make an example of you know, when Ben Roethlisberger got into trouble, suspend him for a year.
There you go.
There you go. No, that's true.
He didn't get 6 games. He got 6 games after everyone got pissed. He didn't get 6. They tried every way they could to get him out of those 6 games, right? You already know they were all like, how do we get Ben on the field? Like, you know, maybe it was just kidding. The girl was not really 13 or whatever. Like whatever, you know what I mean? Like whatever his issues
you speaking
were, like,
the truth, brother. You speaking it.
Like that, but they won't do that, right? That, and you know, Brett Favre, like how, like, please, man. I mean, come on. Brett Favre is one step away from putting on a hood right now, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's ready, like right now. Like, make examples of that, right? You know what I mean? Like that's where, like, you know, okay, make an example out of Johnny Manziel or Ryan Leaf or whoever, not really Ryan Leaf, but Johnny Manziel or some other nut job, but who's already a millionaire anyway. But like, do it when it matters, when it's hard. Then I can see that you understand where we're coming from.
Do it when it's hard, yeah.
Do it when it's hard, but they haven't done that.
Listen. George is coming with some heat too. Y'all wasn't ready for that one, were you? You know, he said Brett Favre is 2 steps away. Well, I'm gonna put that right there. We're not gonna get no endorsements from Brett Favre from the Vikings, but that's okay. That's all right. Hold on, Mama's coming here chiming in too. She says these leagues are only looking for ticket sales by bringing in Terrell to play for them. Not happy about him taking away younger guys' opportunities, stay retired and coach, and said, very interesting, very interesting. Okay. Oh, listen, see, they go to police calling right now. See, they
want this show canceled.
They go to police right there. Tony Davis, yeah, man, it's coming in hot. Listen, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. So we will see what happens if he comes back and plays. Look, I'll be down to go check him out, watch a game too, if it's reasonable price. I would love to see him suited up, and because I think he can still play. I think you're right. I've seen him. What was it? Many years ago, I think it was an MTV special or something, and he was showing he was still working out. He was still in shape. He could still run his routes. He could still do all the things that made him who he is and who he was. Yeah, man, I would love to see him playing for a league. So, good luck to him either way. Let's talk about let's go into basketball. Let's go into another sport. Let's talk about the last two nights. Let's talk about college. We like to talk about college a lot. NCAA, the women's and the men's. We'll start with the ladies because the ladies kick butt first. Oh my goodness. Gino got hit with an L. His first loss in the national championship game. UConn lost. And the only team that could have beat him, South Carolina. Dawn Staley was out there showing, listen, Dawn Staley and her squad said it was divinely written that on that night, they win the championship. And from the tip-off, dominated. Talk to us a little bit about that, folks, because whole lot of things have transpired just out of what Dawn Staley said after the game, and then what Gino was saying during the mid-game interview. He was talking about, South Carolina is just swarming us. We can't keep up, right? So talk to us a little bit. Let me start with you, Montel, on this. The impact of Dawn Staley winning number 2.
Oh, man, I think it's tremendous. I think she's starting to solidify herself as one of the greatest basketball coaches in college.
Yeah.
With her start. I've been saying it and I've been echoing it. Women's basketball is very, very, very good if they just market it the right way. And she echoed that in her post-game speech.
Man.
It needs to be brought to the forefront. They need to get their shine just like the men, because they're just as entertaining, if not more entertaining in some aspects.
Yes.
In playing the sport of basketball, and I think that should trickle over to the WNBA. I believe Dawn Staley is getting ready to write a new chapter in women's basketball that we haven't seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got the guy from UConn, obviously, that won all those games. I can't think of the coach's name. Forgive me tonight.
Yeah,
blanking name.
Yeah.
And then we got before him the lady that was at Tennessee that led the Volunteers all those years. Pat Summitt. I think Dawn Staley is that next one. If she whatever she wants to be right now in this sport, she's going to be. And I think she's going to take it to another level with the social media, with all the impact that they have, everything that's going in her way. She's solidifying herself as one of the greatest college coaches in basketball, period, man. I mean, she's just doing a great job. And those young ladies on their team are just phenomenal. I mean, they're great, and they're only going to get better. Remember, they're young. I think they only got 2 seniors on that team. They're young. They're coming.
What was it? Destiny Henderson, I think the point guard. I think she was sophomore, I believe.
Yeah. They're very young, so they're going to come. They're coming again, revving up and ready to rock and roll. So I think she's just putting herself in a great. I think obviously she's going to be the selection for the Olympic coach, right? She's going to be the Olympics coach. She's going to be all these things, and she's just going to keep setting the bar higher and higher as a women's coach. Now it's going to be controlled by Dawn Staley. What does she want to do? Does Dawn Staley want to go to the next level, or does she want to stay where she's at? I think she coached a little bit in the WNBA a little bit for a while. She was coaching up in the New York Liberty, but I think she found her niche definitely down there in South Carolina, and now she's just the bomb. So I'm all for it, man. I'm glad we get to see this history making it in college sports.
Yeah. So George, let me ask you this. I'm gonna tail off of what Montel was saying. Look, Dawn Staley is reaching back and reaching to the side as well, because she's, last time when she won, she gave all the other black coaches, women coaches, a piece of her net, saying you can also have this, right? Don't shy away from this. This is it within your grasp. Montel made an interesting statement, because Coach Staley's phone is ringing. come on over here to the WNBA, come on over here to the Liberty, come on over here to the Sparks, whomever. What do you think about that whole perspective? And should she stay in South Carolina and keep this tradition going, keep this activity going?
I'm gonna say two things. Basketball is different. Let's keep it real, right? Basketball is different. College coaches tend to stay in college. A few make the leap, but then go back, right? But like Rick Pitino comes to mind, for example. He went, but like Krzyzewski had an offer every day. I'm good. Roy Williams had offers every day. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like very college. If you look at basketball, the coaches, because building up a college program is also lucrative, right? You're still getting paid a lot of money, and you not only do you have full control, but like you get to like run these cities. Like you wind up running, like you have to run the cities that you actually like, you know what I mean? So you think Krzyzewski has ever paid for a meal like anywhere around? Like never. Like he probably, I mean, you know what I mean?
Never will.
So you never will, right? So I think that college is different. So I think that we have to factor that in. I think that's definitely a part of the equation, especially like I said, it's lucrative. Second, I'm gonna say this. I gotta agree with my wife. Controversial opinion: women basketball players are more fundamentally sound.
No, dude,
I've been saying that.
Bro, you speaking the truth.
No, I know. Well, I mean, we're in
on.
agreement. I'm saying it out loud, right? Because there's a lot of people here. You watch that basketball game. I mean, listen, Duke, North Carolina in the Final Four, great game.
Yeah.
Championship last night, great game.
Yeah.
Great game. Like I said, it wasn't. The Final Four for women, that's textbook basketball. Setting screen, pivots, passes, ball movement, no laziness on defense. Rotations were on point. Nobody standing still on the offense. I mean, that's fundamentally sound, beautiful basketball. Beautiful.
Yep.
At the pro level, some of that is lost. Even in the WNBA, some of it is lost. Dawn Staley's a Hall of Famer for being one of the most, like fundamentally sound, great ball players. I think she stays because of those two things. I think she's in a great spot with a great program. It's lucrative. Plus, she's going to have full control. And I think she's a pure basketball spirit. Now, I could be wrong, and if I am, I'll be thrilled for her. But I think she stays for that reason. I think she loves teaching these kids and making them great ballers, and not just superstars or dunkers or shooters, but ballers. Like she's teaching, and I just feel like she knows this is her thing. Like she, like to Montel's point, she knows that it went from Oriana, from Summit to Oriana now to her.
Yeah.
I feel like she knows that, and she's like, I'm good. And that's what I think. I actually think she's going to take the route of Dean Smith and create a whole bunch of coaches that are going to wind up going out. That's what I think she's going to do. They're going to wind up going out and coaching the whole league. And then before you know it, our kids, when they're talking about female college basketball, NCAA women's, they're going to be all talking about all these great coaches that were all Dawn Staley disciples. That's what I think is going to happen. That's my opinion.
I completely agree with you 100% because I think she's in it for not the financial piece. Yeah, she's well taken care of as well, but the legacy that she's leaving and that she's won 2 in 4-year span, and the fact that she's, like I say, reaching back and reaching to the side to the other black coaches, other female coaches within college sports, college athletics, and saying you can have this as well. I mean, that's just amazing, and that just shows the content of her character. So I don't see her leaving. I don't think anyone. See, I had to pull back. Hold on. I'm gonna say everyone may have a number, but I think she's gonna. Come on, I think she's gonna stay there for a little more longer. I think she's gonna stay there.
I'm 90% agree. I'm 90% agreeing with you guys. Yeah, I think she stays, but 10% tells me if the WNBA wants to make that leap from a marketing standpoint. From a standpoint where we really want to grow, we're really going to invest in our sport. She could be the face of the WNBA like no other as a coach. She could be the spokesperson and the identity of the WNBA that they haven't in a long time since Lisa Leslie in that sport. If they want to change the marketing aspect, WNBA, to my opinion, the WNBA is only failure because of the market. It's not the skill. It's not the way they play basketball. They just have horribly marketed that sport. And Don Stanley would be a breath of fresh air being in that scene. So I don't think she jumps. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think she has a sweet deal going on right now. But we all know money talks and everything else walks.
If the numbers come back right, yeah.
I'm with you, but it's just I think Montel, your point about control, like that's the part. That's what makes. That's why.
And I'm gonna. Yeah, I was gonna
that's
say
why
that.
I feel like I could see it. Look, anything's possible, and like I said, I got her back 100%. Whatever she wants to do, I got her back, and that's good. All you right. I'm happy, and there's no hate here, but I just feel like when you can coaches control programs.
Mm-hmm.
At the end, the next level, she's eventually going to run into a superstar that will supersede her from the marketing.
You're right. You're right.
And I think, and I just feel like I feel like we're looking at a brilliant leader right here. I talk about leadership. She's a perfect example of a brilliant leader, right? Yep. And I just think she gets it. I feel like she might know that, right? And I think I don't know. I mean, look, anything's possible. Like, you're right. She might look at this as an opportunity to help save the WNBA, of which she was a big part of it. And there's probably some loyalty there. So you could be right. I don't know. I just don't see it.
No, I'm like I said, now you got me. Now instead of my 99,
don't go back. Don't go back.
Yeah, you up my. I think 94% she's gonna say.
You're gonna change your percentages. Oh my God! All right. We're gonna change over. Let me get some shots out. We got some winners in the room. Everyone's a winner, but we got the Bishop in the room. Good to see you, sir. Appreciate you for joining, and always good to have you in the room as well, MDH. Listen, all right. Let me be cognizant of time because George is doing his thing, and he probably got to go eat, or he probably got to go do. I don't know what he got to do. Probably got to get it ready for a presentation. One last story. Well, 1.5 more stories. The NFL has made an announcement that and I just want to get opinions on this, and then we'll quickly go to the last story. NFL has made an announcement they're pushing to have flag football, y'all, as part of the 2028 Summer Olympics. We're all football fans. We all love the game in and of itself. I can't even say what it's straight. What's your thoughts about having flag football as an actual Olympic sport come 2028? George?
Waste.
I feel like is flag football like a sport? Like that's the part. Like that's the you know what I mean? Like is flag football like? There's a million other things I'd rather watch than flag football.
I wanted to hear some of that commentary right there because again, I think it's news, so we're gonna report it, and it could be impactful, but man, there could be some other things that you could bring to the table. But
but you could do like arena, like you could create like an arena league for like arena football is fun. If you wanted to make arena, like if you want to do like football light because other countries don't play football, and you want to do like an arena style to get other countries up to speed. All right, you know what I mean? Why gotta be flagged though? Like we're worried about concussions, and don't bring football into the conversation. Like why? You know what I mean? Like I don't see flag. Don't make sense to me. 2-hand touch. Remember 2-hand touch?
Yeah. I'm not even gonna let Montel answer. I can just tell the disgust in his eyes from the question. So I'm not even gonna let Man,
well, I got an opinion on it.
I know you got an opinion. You can tell.
The committee needs to take their time and clean up all the madness and drugs and illegal drug use and all that instead of worrying about bringing flag football to the Olympics. We got bigger issues than that in the Olympic realm of things that's going on. We got all these other things that's going on with COVID. The girl that took the enhancement drug. Work on that. Not bringing them flag football. No one's gonna watch it, man. I'd rather watch what's my sport? The sweet. The sweet thing. Put that on instead of flag football.
That's my sport.
Yeah, that's a waste of ink. That was a waste of ink in our 3 minutes. That was a waste.
Oh my God! I'll cut it out of the post production. How about that? Last story I was going to bring about this Albert Pujols one, but I don't even want to talk about that. To be honest with you, let's talk about this young man right here. Mr. Woods has actually said he gonna go out there and lace him up. He can go out there and shoot for his next championship at the Masters this week. Tell me what you guys think. We've seen him out there practicing. We know he's got the surgically repaired back, surgically repaired foot, leg from that recent car accident he had. Folks out there watched him practice round, shooting off at the putt and green and all that. So he looks good. Says, you're not gonna say Tiger doesn't look like Tiger when he's out there on the golf course, but let's talk about what this could mean. First of all, just having Tiger back out there on the course and the implications of that, marketability, TV revenue, the impact to the other players. And let's go ahead and think about, should he win? He's at a 50-1 odds right now to win. What if Tiger Woods comes back from all this adversity, everything that he's been through lately, and actually pulls this one off? I know it's, we don't have the crystal ball, we don't have the magic 8 ball, but George, let's start with you on this one. Tiger Woods says he's going to actually play in the Masters this time. Every
other sports related accomplishment of the last 2 years would be forgotten and deemed irrelevant if he came back and won the Masters.
Yeah,
if that were to happen. I don't know if you've seen the video. I saw some of the video getting ready for meetings this morning with Tiger, kind of some of the practice videos that made it online.
Yeah,
he looked phenomenal. He looked fantastic. So, I mean, there's a mystique to Tiger, right? There's an aura. Like they always say, people talk about like this it factor, right? There's like a lot of people could play basketball, but do they have like this it factor? Like, we look about basketball as an example, like the Magic, Bird, and Jordan. Like we were blessed that we saw these people in succession, and other players who played against them would say, similar about those three guys, would be like, you kind of already know you lost before tip off, because they had this thing to them, like you just never felt like you had a shot, right? Tiger is like that times 10 on the golf course. He was held back. He was marginalized. He wasn't supposed to be good enough. Then he dominated. And all these haters, for whatever reasons that they hated, all these haters now became fans, or they were shoved out. And now there's a whole generation of kids who grew up playing, and they're all pros right now playing, and grew up watching Tiger, who are great, maybe better than him right now, not all the time, but right now, who will stop playing to watch Tiger practice. They'll stop playing. They'll walk away to watch Tiger practice.
We talk about practice. God.
You can say whatever you want about him. I don't want to really hear anybody criticize him. I really don't. I don't want to hear it, man. People criticize him, voted for a dude who was married 3 times and cheated on his pregnant wife with a porn star. So I don't want to hear nobody criticize about.
Damn, son.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Leave that. Leave all that alone. That's his personal business. Leave him alone. I don't want to get involved in it, and I'm not trying to build him up or make him. And I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm just talking about his impact on the course.
Yeah.
There's a mystique and a just a greatness to his golf game.
Yeah.
That is just beautiful to appreciate. It's just beautiful to appreciate, and he's a lot of players who are trying to win are also probably going to be cheering for him.
That's true.
Win.
That's true. And interesting mental, mind game that Tiger can play with any and everyone that's out there that he's competing against. I might have my red Nike polo on Sunday because again he brings about that mystique about him. But this should be good. This should be good, man. Yeah, I'm gonna be out there cheering. I am Tiger Woods. I got golf clubs in the garage. I got a lot of dust on them, but we don't have to talk about that. Listen,
I just make a real quick memory point though. I remember watching the interview one time, when Jordan was still playing.
Yeah.
And just real quick, I always, every time somebody mentions Tiger Woods, the first memory that jumps into my head. Jordan loves to play golf, and he played with Tiger Woods, and he was asked, who has a better shot of winning, getting lucky and winning? You and Tiger one-on-one on basketball, or you and Tiger one-on-one on the golf course? And Jordan was like, that's me. He's like, I can get lucky and shoot a good game and beat him by a stroke or two. I'd have to have both my legs cut off for him to beat me playing basketball.
That's crazy. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's a good point, and I want to bring us back to reality here as well. I like what Melanie is saying. No, you can't deny that his personal life also impacts his on the course, right? The things that he's done in life. So it's a dual-edged sword with Tiger, right? He's got pros, he's got cons, he's got a lot of cons. He's got a lot. He's got a lot of pros, but
I mean, I'm just trying to keep it real. Like, I'm not defending any of that, right?
yeah,
Like, you could look at my life and my example and how I lead my life, and I don't condone any of that. But I'm also no one to judge him, right? There's only one person judging any of us, and it ain't me. So I know that. So I'm really kind of creating a very myopic, very specific, bordered boundary view, but it's an undeniable view. Like, his greatness at golf is it's just undeniable. And there's a mystique to him when he walks onto a golf course it's undeniable. There's no way around it. And these other players feel it, right? You see it now with the practice, right? He had 1,000 people watching him practice.
yeah. Watching him hit golf, practice
1,000
balls.
people.
But before we go, you know what I chime this is, man? I chime this is. Remember when Jordan took his break and went and played baseball, and then he came back in the playoffs, and he almost beat the Pacers in the playoffs. When he came back,
Well,
his
the
comeback
Magic.
tour. Yeah, this reminds me of that. Tiger doesn't even necessarily have the win. If he's just competitive at a high level, that's more than enough. That's more than enough to say, man, you know what? Wow, the GOAT is back, or one of the GOATs is back in golf. And I just think his social impact with him coming back, it has resilience written all over it.
Yeah.
He came back from everything. You knocked him down in the media for his personal life. You knocked him down from injuries. You knocked him down for he was driving to his own charity when he got in a car accident, and people bashed him about what was going on in that. And now he's come back from all these surgeries and all these things and all these other distractions outside to still be one of the most resilient athletes in the game of golf. So I'm glad to see him back, and I hope he can win 5 more Masters, man, or 5 more tournaments just to be able to be good. But I do know when we watched him practice, I think in this Masters, I think when we get maybe not the first day because the adrenaline's going to be running so high. Second, but that third, if he makes it to that third day, walking those hills and walking Augusta, I think it might take a toll on this game because you're not allowed to have not allowed to golfer and have a caddy there.
Right.
That part might take a toll on him physically, just because he's recovering from all these things. I just want to see him compete at a high level. That's more than enough. He can compete. If he gets to that third round, that third day, man, I think that's going to speak more volumes than anything that we've ever seen in a long time. Michael Jordan fell short his first comeback. He can fall a little short, but we're going to get geared back up for the next three, next 3 peaks. So it'll be all good.
I love it. Gentlemen, this was a phenomenal show. We talked about things that really mattered, really resonated. Again, no one else is talking about this stuff, right? You're not going to catch this on the ESPN, Fox, CBS, or wherever the case may be, but they probably should. And if they want to talk to Montel and myself about how to get this content, they should reach out. I know a number of folks came to see George specifically. George, listen, man, you came and you brought it tonight, brother. So appreciate you for coming. Appreciate you for bringing that fire. I got someone here that was asking, off topic, because she's a technologist too. What kind of cameras he's using. So
I'm not using a camera. I'm actually using a Microsoft. I'll give it Microsoft a shout out. I'm using a Surface Pro and a built-in camera and mic. I'm on the road. So the built-in camera and mic of the Surface Pro, which I got to give credit where credit's due because I'm an Apple guy. Like my main, see if you can see it here. Like if you can see it in the camera, I don't even know where the hell the camera's at. You can't. Well, you can tell by the silver. It's a MacBook. Yeah. That's my main. That's a main one. I'm an Apple guy all day, but I gotta give Microsoft. I gotta give credit where credit's due. The Surface is true, right? It's real.
I love it. Listen, man, we're not gonna hold this much longer. I saw the shirt. I'm not sure if everyone else saw it, but go ahead and give these folks.
Trying to hide it. It's hard,
I know.
Man.
Go ahead and give these folks on LinkedIn and the folks coming from your community what's going on. So
See,
George has
an
announcement.
I'm like trying to get to the camera, man.
Here you go, brother. Here you go.
There it is. Palo Alto Networks, baby. Palo Alto. So Palo Alto, bro. So here's the deal, right? So let me address this real quick. I was with HP for a long time, and I was blessed to have met a lot of great people at HPE. I feel fortunate to have done a lot of good things there. I think I tried to do more for diversity, to be honest. That's a whole different conversation. HPE, I think, fell very, very short of that. But in their defense, I think it's something that they recognize and they're trying to correct now. So good for them. I think there's a lot of good people who are invested in trying to do that and trying to do better there. So I give them. Hopefully, they do fix a lot of that. I think they got some people in charge of that, but. It was time to go. I got offers. Now, here's the thing. This is where everybody's confused, and here's where everything comes out. I got offers from competitive storage companies. I did. That's true. And I initially considered taking an offer from a different company. I don't want to mention their name because I turned them down ultimately. Why Palo Alto? Palo Alto was my first choice the whole way. They always were. For two reasons. There's a leader that I work for now, who I worked for in the past, and we don't always meet eye to eye. But I know he's good, and I know he's honest and honorable, and I trust him, and I like that. I like to be, I'm not like everybody else. I invest 100% into what I do, and so I want to make sure that I can work for people that I can trust, and he was one that I did. And the leadership, and so far that I've been here, and everyone that I've met, I mean, it just seemed real genuine. Palo Alto, as far as the social impact of, is a committed company to diversity and expanding the talent pool. And making sure that we're not limiting ourselves and making sure we get the best people for the job, regardless of identity or race or any of that stuff. And Palo Alto's really, really good at that. So that did have a lot to do with my decision. It is cybersecurity, so it is non-competitive. I don't have to worry about feeling guilty ever for putting HPE out of business, which you all know is what would happen. If I would have gone to Pure, if I would have gone to Hitachi, if I would have gone to NetApp, HPE might as well put a for sale sign in the front door because they're not selling another storage array. Yeah, it's never happened before. Y'all know it. Y'all know it. I'm not. You can say, "Oh, that guy's cocky." Okay, yeah, but I'm not lying, right? Like so. Yeah, maybe I'm being cocky, and I don't mean to be, but let you guys know. I've been texted by different people emailing me, reaching out. I did not believe this to be a thing. But I mean, I have to keep it real. Probably over 100 different people reached out to find out where I was going, and it's just mind-boggling that people cared that much. But interestingly, of the people that I spoke to, they were literally worried of exactly that. He's going to a competitor. He's going to a competitor. Like no, like yes, I was gonna. And maybe I should have just but no, I'm in a great place, and so why I'm excited about the future is Palo Alto is a company that gets it, but at a cybersecurity network, from that perspective, from that technology, it is critically the most important thing. And if you think about the world and everything that's going on in the world today, especially what's going on, the tragedy that's happening with Russia and Ukraine, that's just ridiculous. Security has never been more important. And this is a leader, this company that's doing three things that's doing things that no one else is doing in this space. And there's plenty of great companies in this space, but you're not seeing people take advantage of AI initiatives at the security level, because you don't buy security. Everyone can protect you from the stuff we already know. You invest in security to protect you from what we don't know. What hackers, what the threat actors, whatever you want to call them, what they're scheming next. You need to be out in front of that, and Palo Alto obviously is doing the right things to be far ahead of that, right? You obviously can care about consistency as far as your security policies go, regardless of where your data is, especially now that everybody's going to be hybrid. Palo Alto's got that covered, right, with different deployments that handle all your data protections, whether it's in the cloud, whether it's on-prem, and that consistency across, that control, that visibility, being able to see it, whether it's your home users, whether it's your edge deployments or your branch office deployments, whether it's your core data center, it's the same security policies across all of it, single pane of glass to manage it all, with the AI, with the recognition that kind of helps protect you from the things you don't know about yet. It's just a great place to be. If you take a look at how Palo Alto is doing, it's the reason why we're doing really, really well is because we're out in front and we're providing this layer of protection. You're not seeing that from anyone else. I just felt it was just too exciting a move, right? So it was time to go. I just think it was something that it was the right time and the right place. I feel like if Dawn Staley does leave South Carolina to go to the WNBA, she's gonna say the same speech. Oh, it was the right time, the right place. but it truly is. the right time, right place, right people, right company, right direction, right vision. You can't beat it. I wish everyone at HPE good luck. I know they're Dell, Pure, Hitachi. I know y'all feel a lot better. I'm not in that game no more. You're welcome. Right. But yeah, man, it was the right time, man.
Awesome. Appreciate you, man. Best of luck on this next chapter in your life. Again, I know a ton of folks were hitting you up, were hitting me up, even behind the scenes. Where's George going? I said, I don't know. He's gonna come on the show and he's gonna drop that gem on us. So appreciate you for allowing this platform to be the place where you announced it to the world outside of your family as well. That's phenomenal. That's huge. Look like you already out there in these streets doing some traveling. So can continue to do that, continue to be safe. Great show tonight, y'all. Man, I can't say anything else besides that. Montel, I always let you take us out, but we are getting better. We are getting more consistent with our goal and our focus and our mission, and that is to provide the social impact of sport. The social impact of sport. And tonight's first story really got into that. So appreciate you, man. I want to give you these flowers as well while we live, Montel. Thank you for the contribution that you're giving. That's the reason why we launched the whole Team No Sleep website, YouTube page as well, folks. So definitely get out there and check that out. Subscribe so we can continue to push this message out, and we can show ESPN, Fox, CBS. Who else is out there? We can show them a thing or two about what's really going on.
Absolutely. One more thing, man, before we go, man, I'd like to send a prayer out to everybody in Sacramento. That horrific incident that happened the other night. Prayers to everybody that, prayers for strength for everybody that, that was a victim. And, just a big shout out to everybody, man. I hope everyone that's listening and watching, please keep those people in those prayers. Man, that was just so unfortunate. And I hope they catch the people that did. So
yeah, look, man, it was a trip that was close to hitting home for me because actually both of my kids were out. They were there. Mm-hmm. They were at that Tyler concert, and they showed that Taco Bell on the news coverage. They were at that Taco Bell 30 minutes before the shooting started. So hit home right there for me as well, that particular incident. I believe they've got 3 people in custody right now. So they're making some adjustments on that. I tell you what, George, you take us out, brother. You take us out. Say what you got to say just to close a minute, then we're going to go ahead and leave for the night.
Man, I want to leave with something positive, but it's hard now because you got me thinking about the people of Sacramento. Hoping everybody's okay, man. You know what? Now, it was leave for something positive, right? In a world all craziness, I just pay attention to one thing, right? For the first time in years, we are appreciating one another live. We are appreciating each other's presence. We are having these conversations. We are expanding. We are doing different things, and it's fantastic, right? I was able to meet people in a convention today. Now, look, I'm triple vaxxed. And we already had the vid one time, so I get it. So I know I get it, but it's a blessing to be able to interact with humans, man. I think we need to let all of our pettiness go away. We've been isolated for 2 years, and we can all have differences of opinion, and that's fine. Just recognize we have way more in common with one another than we don't. And I think we all care about our family. We all want our people to do well. We all love each other. I mean, we all got love in our hearts. That's all that. Everything else is nonsense. It's all trivial. There are bad people, but no one is defined by bad people, by those people. No one. And even those people, as I was saying in the pre-show, everyone should remember this. No one is one thing. Everyone is a collection of decisions, and we can separate some of these different things, right? There are great artists who might be nut jobs, right? There are great artists who produce great art who might also be horrible human beings, and that's life. That's just life. You don't have to. You're neither supporting nor condoning someone's horrific acts or someone's brutality by saying a reality. They were a great artist, right? It's a reality, right? If what they produced was great, no one gains anything by denying that, right? And I think that we need to all kind of grow up and kind of. I say grow up, but I don't mean that in an offensive way. I mean it in the sense of we just have to face the things that. Two things can be true at the same time. And that's just reality. And the sooner we sort of face that reality, we might find ways to get along better. We can agree with someone who genuinely, who might have a difference of opinion on how to resolve an issue. We might agree on what the issues are, though, and maybe we can find some common ground, right? There's ways to get there, right? Or we might agree with something that they say. It's just there's ways to find some common ground, but I think we need to we need to figure it out. There are some people who are just going to be bad people and they're selfish, and I get all that. You can just keep them people out your circle. I don't have people like that in my circle, right? But I think the majority of people you meet are probably pretty good, and I think we just got to get back to recognizing that.
Period. George, you coming back to the show? That's all there is to it.
Always, bro. Anytime, man.
We out.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Appreciate you now.